acknowledging that President William Ruto, you are my president. And in other news, of course, we also saw Mudavadi and Atwoli meeting together, and they of course vowed to work together to unite probably the Mulembe nation. So during the campaign periods, we saw the disparity that was there between people allied to the Kenya Kwanza and of course people who are allied to the Azimio side. Now Azimio side sits strongly in the opposition, but we are seeing them, of course, some of them cross the floor of the house. Members who are elected in the Azimio cross the floor, moving to Kenya Kwanza. We have now seen Esther Passaris saying that, now acknowledging openly that President William Ruto is his president. And of course on the other side, for the Mulembe nation, Moses, not Wetangula rather, but Mudavadi meeting with Atwoli and now agreeing to work together. So what does it, of course, it creates a picture that this creates, but moving forward, of course, now what do we really foresee in the near future? Are we going to have that strong opposition in this country that will be maybe so vocal to keep checks in the government? Because the people who are so vocal, who are now seated in the opposition, are moving closer to the government, to work together with the government. Will they be opposing the government when they are working close to the government?
Yes, I think we've been having an opposition issue for so many years. Right. We had it in 2018. You remember when there was the handshake? There was an issue of opposition, and these are things I think that have been happening for quite a long time. So it is a question of will His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga stand strong, come out clearly to provide check and balances? Will his team, that is the Azimio team, come out strongly, or will they chicken away or cross the floor to the other side? But I believe when you look at Atwoli is not a sworn member of any office holder when it comes to the house, when it comes to the house, he's not a senator or an MP, so we can't really question him. But for someone like Esther Passaris, you have to understand that politics are over and it is time to deliver, and you need the government to deliver. Right. So in as much as Passaris is recognizing that she is part of this government and she needs to work with the national government, she should also remember that she has the mandates of keeping checks and balances of the government, and that goes to all members of the Azimio, from the members of parliament to the Senate to the governors and to the opposition leader, which is His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga. So much is expected from them, from the Kenyan people.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, maybe let us go back to, let us align this, of course, probably to where you're coming from. That is the Kamba Nation, where I don't know who's your kingpin really, because you've seen, of course, recently Kalonzo Musyoka, of course, saying that he is for a very long time, of course, he has been the kingpin in that region. But of course, we saw some sort of difference during the campaign periods when some other people from the Kamba Nation, of course, ally, moved to the side of the Kenya Kwanza, and of course, probably this, created some sort of a division. So now that we have a government of the day, and this government of the day, when it went to Kitui the other day, was saying that they offered Kalonzo Musyoka a position in government, but Kalonzo Musyoka said that he probably wants to try the opposition. And so what do you really see here when Kalonzo Musyoka was saying that he rejected the job offer to try out what's in the opposition? Is he well representing the needs and the desires of the people he claimed to be leading, to be probably their kingpin?
His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka is a very interesting man, because today he wakes up, he's part of the Madaraka Day, he's very happy. The next minute he's elsewhere saying how wrong this government is, and he's just an interesting person. So I believe that is actually one of the reasons why you see there's that power gap in Ukambani. And what is happening right now is that the Ukambani people it is actually up for grabs. People are waiting for prominent Kamba leaders to step up. Right. People are waiting for people like Mutula Kilonzo Jr. and the rest, like former Governor Kibwana, people who were really waiting for him to actually come up. If he would have tried to be the president of Kenya, the Kambas would have rallied behind him. Right. So the Kambas are really waiting for someone to step up. When it comes to the issue of opposition, a number without time, Kalonzo Musyoka has said that he wants to be the de facto opposition leader. Absolutely. And we're still waiting because, opposition leader is not just a position. We need to see that action. Right. We need to see you coming out and criticizing the government of the day. We need to see you coming up with policies and opinions about how do we better the lives of Kenyans. So we're really waiting that it should no longer be a talk, that he should walk the talk and show Kenyans the way. As a de facto opposition leader.
All right, interesting. And of course, these 2022 general elections, it break the barriers and challenge the status quo of the Kenyan politics, where we saw a person who has not been in the position, who was actually in the previous government, serving as the deputy president, rising into the position of now being the president. So, looking at probably the future, that is the politics of the 2027, when we have people like Kalonzo Musyoka, of course, who was saying that he wants to be, of course, the de facto opposition leader, and now whatever he will be falling, whether he will be the de facto opposition leader, whether if he works with the government, let us try to look at these 2027 general elections. Probably higher chances, I know chances are high constitutionally, because President William Ruto will still have an opening to run for office, of course, for the second time. But what do you foresee in the future? Because the people who are really strong for this presidency, like the likes of ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi, now in government as the chief cabinet secretary, and we are seeing, of course, other people like Kalonzo Musyoka is suing, whether he's not so sure whether he's in the opposition or he wants to work with the government, borrowing from what we saw in the Madaraka Day, of course, being so happy when he's in there. So are we seeing, but of course, let us also not forget Professor Wajakoya has been really moving around and not making so big strides politically, but he's moving around, of course, probably popularizing himself with the electorates. So what do you foresee of these 2027 general elections? Will the president, if at all he wishes to run for the second term, will he have a strong opposition to oppose, of course, probably his bid for this presidency?
When I look at the possible